he loves the game. He loves to play, and he's a very smart player. He feels the game. He understands when to cut and when to set a screen and how to make a play. So I'm a huge fan of Juan's, and just his overall attitude and approach is really refreshing.
Outside from the basketball court, how do you extend the mental training with your players, especially with Juan's early life career with Warriors main team?
Yeah, I mean, we try to give our players the best training, both physically and mentally. Spiritually. We have a lot of people who are really good with our training staff, um, not only with the physical side, but with the mental side of sports. And we bring in a lot of guest speakers. We have a lot of people who address the team, who we all learn from, and we try to make it a really good learning environment here, so that players can get better and gain more knowledge.
Going back to Looney, did when you mentioned how he was moving uh, more fluidly than at any point last season, would you say? I mean, how different of a player has he looked the last week?
Yeah, he looks different from any point last season. Last year, he just looked compromised all the time, even when he was playing in the games. He just didn't look like himself, not only from a movement standpoint, but from an energy standpoint. He looked like he was laboring. And so now he's moving well and he's feeling well. So the combination just has him looking really free and loose out on the court. So I'm really happy for him because he's enjoying himself, and he's earned it. He's worked really hard to get through this.
What will be the plan moving forward? And I understand that that's maybe something you can't even answer, but like as you split from this bubble, what is your hope in the next few months from like a work standpoint with these guys?
Yeah, I mean that's the big question. Um, they need to play. More than anything, our guys need to play basketball, but we may not be able to provide that for them, in terms of 5-on-5, and so we will comply with whatever the NBA asks us to do, and from a health and safety standpoint, and we'll comply with the city health and safety standards. And if the league tells us that we can only do the one-on-one workouts like before, then we'll do that. But we can only do what's allowed, and ultimately, what they need more than anything is to pick up basketball, and just get on the court and play 5-on-5. So if they're able to do that on their own, then that would be great. But the best option would be if we were able to provide that for them.
Did Paschall ever get onto the court during scrimmages?
No. He took part in all of our drills, but just from a conditioning standpoint, Rick felt like it was best to hold him out.
Hello, coach. Uh, how important is the presence of Klay Thompson in this mini camp? About the young players, how he helped them as a players, as persons, stuff like this.
Well, I think the biggest thing for our young players is just being on the court with Klay. It's unique to play with Klay and Steph because of their ability to shoot from long range. It changes the spacing on the court. It changes the playmaking, and so the best thing that happened really was just getting Klay on the court together with these guys so that they could feel that playmaking and understand what it's like to play with them. And hopefully before too long, we'll get Draymond and Steph and Klay together with all of them, so so that the young guys will really feel our style and our pace and tempo that we like to play with.
And also about the next season, about the minicamp. Sorry, what impressed you most about your team so far?
I'm sorry, what do I question about it?
Yeah. What impressed you most in this minicamp from your
Impression.
team?
What are my impression? Yeah. Well, we have a long way to go. We have a lot of work to do. We had the worst record in the league last year. Obviously, we were hit hard by injuries, and we had a lot of young players. So we have a lot of work ahead to build into what we hope will be a good team, a playoff team. So the work is ahead of us. Our young players have made great improvement. They're working hard this summer. But we need to get everybody on the court together and have everybody healthy and hopefully add a couple of good players through the draft and free agency and see what we can build this coming season.
You mentioned draft and free agency, and this is more a Bob question, but do you feel like you've learned stuff personnel-wise over the last week that will help you guys going into a big, transactional offseason?
I do. I think it just helps to get a really good look at everybody, seeing them play, seeing them on the court. You start to get a sense of who might fit where and who can play what role, and what your strengths and weaknesses are. And we know Steph and Draymond so well. It's easy to envision the group with them. So I think this week has given us a better idea of what we need to look for.
Steve, I'm sure you've been paying attention to the finals, and I wanted to get your impressions of just how LeBron is able to evolve and adapt his game. And what were the challenges like facing him each year, 4 years in a row, knowing that he figured out whatever you had done the last time?
Yeah, he's amazing. Charles Barkley always says Father Time's undefeated, but LeBron's putting up a hell of a fight right now. It's just, I don't know what year it is for him, 17th maybe. It's incredible to watch just how athletic and powerful he remains, and the skill set is better than ever. And coaching against him is it's a real challenge year after year because he's also one of the smartest players you'll ever see. So he's an amazing player. Obviously one of the all-time greats, and still going strong.
Coach, from Puerto Rico, this is sort of a kind of a new thing for you. You have always been in a winning environment with Spurs, Bulls, and then you come to the NBA and you have a winning team. This is the first losing season for you. How do you change mentally for the upcoming season and also for the players that are coming back that were injured?
Well, hopefully this was a 1 year kind of sidestep, and we'll get back out on course next year. But I know it's not going to just happen. We have to earn that. But this year was difficult. I don't think anybody enjoyed losing. It was difficult on everybody in the organization. So that's why we're working hard now to prepare for next season and hopefully get healthy and continue to add to our roster and get back to our winning ways.
Also, Mr. Mike D'Antoni, during the bubble, he wore the shirt, and this is more about voting. He wore a shirt that said the Puerto Ricans needed to vote. And I want to know your thoughts on that, and also what message do you give to the minority of the Latinos which are in the United States, encourage them to vote this November?
Yeah, I encourage everybody to vote, and I know the people in Puerto Rico have been through a lot, given the hurricane over the last couple of years and the devastation around the island. And so we hope that everybody there is able to vote and vote with the welfare of their fellow Puerto Ricans in mind, and that our government can hopefully do more to help the situation there and to help people all over the country. And there's different ways to help, whether it's through community organizing or charitable fundraising, or, donating time. All those ways are all those good things are good ways to help the community and help your fellow citizens. But voting is probably the thing that can do the most in terms of policy change. And so hopefully we get a really good voter turnout from everybody this year, not just the Latino population, but the entire population of the country. And so we wish everybody well in Puerto Rico, and hope that everybody gets out to the polls.
Thank you.
Steve, in Mexico, it's very important the presence of Juan in the NBA. Why is it important to have a Mexican voice in the social causes that players support in the U.S.?
Well, the NBA is a global game, and we know that there are players from all over the world, and a lot of players come from countries that are very, very proud of those players for their involvement in the league and their impact in the league, and Juan is no exception. Juan's very unique because he's got a background not only from Mexico but from Oakland, right here in the Bay as well. And his personality reflects that. You can see the joy and the spirit that exists in him that comes from the Mexican background. Sometimes we'll play music in here. We'll play salsa music, and Juan will bust out into his dances, and everybody loves it. But then he's from Oakland too, and he's got this really big presence in the Oakland community, and he's done so much good community service there, trying to help the kids from the area where he grew up. And so Juan's a really special person. He's a unique person and really well loved in our locker room, and I'm sure in all of Mexico.
Plenty, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Steve, this is Rich with LetsGoWarriors. Oh, sorry. Juan Toscano-Anderson just heaped a lot of praise on Jordan Poole, said he stays late, has been having leadership qualities, and even looks physically bigger, like no longer a youngster. Can you comment on Jordan Poole's minicamp?
Jordan's had a great camp. I agree with Juan. And Jordan has been here every day, really, for the last few months. He's been the most consistent presence in this building. He's put the work in the training room, in the weight room, and on the court with Chris DeMarco. He's earned the confidence that he's playing with. He looks like a guy who feels like he belongs. And usually guys take the biggest steps in their careers between years 1 and 2. To me, that's been my experience. That once guys have the experience under their belt